Okay, who's ready for episode 5? Welcome back to The Bearded Life, and this is another episode of the Chronicles of the Bearded Dad. I thank you all for joining me. Here we go. So here we are. We have come to the end of what was a long, drawn-out fight with Children's Protective Services or DIFAS or whatever you want to call them. And now I have full custody and full rights of my daughter. But that also brings another reality in this situation, in that I am a single dad. And I'm a single dad in a unique way at the moment, because my ex has her own situation going on that she needs to deal with, and she's not in the picture at the time. So now my daughter goes from a situation that was unstable at best to a situation where she's got me, and that's it. And the reality of that pressure sunk in pretty quick for me. You know, I'm it. There's no grand scheme here. It's me. I need to figure out how to get things back to as normal as I can for my daughter. So at the time, like I said, I was staying with my parents, and I came to a situation here where I wasn't sure what to do. Sam had just started kindergarten. She had friends at school. She had friends in her town. She knew the place that my ex lived because that was her home. And I was still on good terms with my ex-in-laws. So after a lot of thinking and trying to figure out exactly what I needed to do here, I made a decision. And looking back on it, I can't be positive if it was the right decision or not. I still think it was in a lot of ways. I made the decision that I was going to move into my ex-in-law's house. Yes, you absolutely 100% heard that correct. I willingly moved in with my ex-in-laws because it meant that not that much would change for Sam, other than it would be me living there rather than her mother. She would still be in the house she was born in. She would still go to the same school, have the same friends, have the same everything else. And in a situation where so much of her life had been just chaos and utter craziness, I thought this was the best way to keep things as normal as I could for her. Now, this obviously presents some challenges here. I just got separated from my wife. She's gone down her own path and her own issues and stuff. And through all this, me and my ex-in-laws, you know, we were on good terms, but I've never lived in their household if I wasn't with their daughter, so I don't know how this is going to work. If it's going to work, what's going to happen here? But it was a mutual decision we both made based on what we thought was best for Sam at the time. It was that simple. There was no other thoughts going on in the world other than what I thought was right for Sam at that moment. And to me, the right thing to do was to keep things as normal as I could for her. And the most normal I could at the time was simply to go move into that house and let everything else around her stay the same, and let me ease into the idea of being a full-time single parent. Now, obviously I've been a parent this whole time, and I'm a hands-on parent. I like to do things with my daughter. I like taking care of my daughter. I'm not, you know, I think dads get like a weird stereotype thrown on them. And I'm not saying there aren't some out there that are like this, but there are plenty of dads out there who do the right thing and who do spend time with their kids and who do things with their children and know how to take care of their kids 100% the way they're supposed to. Now, I've seen the other side too. I'm not going to pretend like they're not out there, but we get stereotyped like none of us have any idea what to do, when that's not exactly the reality. Growing up, I helped out with my brothers and my sisters quite a bit. You know, not that like I had to, I wanted to. I enjoyed helping out with my brothers and sisters. I enjoyed taking care of kids. It's just always been something I was good at. So taking care of my daughter was just a new thing for me. And the biggest realization though for me, and it's funny how this played games with your head a little bit, was that this wasn't someone else's kid. This kid didn't go home at the end of the night. This kid was mine. And it began to change my world in ways that I didn't even think of in the beginning. Because now I'm single. And that term single parent, it doesn't just mean you're parenting. It's your life as well. And what I mean by that is when you're married with kids, you're not thinking about finding somebody and going on a date and things like that. You're married. You're just trying to find time for each other once in a while you're taking care of your children. When you're a single parent, you're still a man. You still want someone in your life with you. And that reality was still there for me. But to me at the time, that was the last thing I could focus on. The only thing I could worry about was taking care of my daughter and doing the right things by her. So my life had changed drastically. You know, there's no more going out with your friends. There's no more any of that stuff. It was just me and Sam. And the one thing I wish I had probably thought better through was, while moving back in with my in-laws did create a more, what's the best way to say this? More of a normalcy for Sam, because it was the way her life had been this whole time. It kind of put me in a situation where I was withdrawn from everybody because it's just me and her. And I kind of took that pressure on myself. Like, I did that on my own. I felt like I needed to take care of my daughter on my own. I needed to do everything by myself. I didn't want to ask for help. I didn't want anyone else to watch her. I wanted to do it because the way I had felt was that we had failed her up until this point. And it's my job to make it right now. So now you're thrown into that single parent mode, right? Got to get the kid up every day, get him off to school, make the lunches. And just kind of finding your groove in that normalcy is tough. And then I found out about another little thing that some of the other dads out there might have found out about. Did you ever go on a schoolyard when you were a kid? And there were all those little cliques, if you will, you know, the cool guys, the sports guys, whatever you had, right? Well, a dad on a schoolyard isn't exactly accepted into those cliques right away. In fact, you're looked at as like kind of the odd. You're not the normal, if you will. You got a schoolyard full of moms there to pick up the kids, and then you got a handful of dads sprinkled in there. And they all kind of looked at me. They didn't know what to make of me. Even the teachers for months would say, well, we would like to talk to Samantha's mom about this and that. And I'm like, there is no mom to talk about right now. It's just me. Whatever the issue is with Sam, you bring it to me. And again, I think those are those old stereotypes we've all kind of got stuck in, where the dads don't worry about the school stuff and all that other things. They provide, they put food on the table, but they don't worry about school and all those other things. I wanted to break that, so I wanted to be the dad at the school that everybody knew. So I got involved with the PTA. I got involved with home and school. I started going on the field trips with the kids and everything else, and I really made my presence known as much as I could in my daughter's life. I was doing as much as I could to let Sam know all these things that have gone wrong, all the negative that has come. Don't worry about it. It's gone. I'm here now. I'm going to make sure everything is okay from here on out. I'm going to be there every step of the way for you. All this has happened in this little girl's kindergarten year. Like, you just think about how much she went through in 1 year. And yeah, I know I'm telling you our story, but Sam went through so much in such a short amount of time that I really was worried for a long time that it was going to have long-lasting effects on her. And there were small effects. There were. She had a hard time trusting, and she had a hard time letting go of people. She got to the point where if she said goodbye to someone, it was like she thought she was never going to see him again or something. Having her graduate or advance in grades and leaving her teachers was like she was losing her best friend. She would lose her mind. It was one of the worst things on the planet for me. But those were all things we were able to work past little by little. And I was able to get Sam back to being just a normal kid. The normal worries in life, you know? Although I don't know how many kids have actually had the worry of other kids in their classroom were hanging on a tree. So here's my little blonde-headed daughter like this, blocking off the tree because she's telling the kids they're trying to destroy nature. That's right. That's what my daughter did. Yeah. Sam is a character all on her own. But there was one thing I forgot in all this. And that was me. Honestly. As good as I was doing, I forgot about me. And because of that, while as long as I had things to do with Sam, I was fine. I was in a good mood. I was happy. I was with my daughter. I was as good as I could be. The reality was I wasn't 100% happy because I wasn't doing anything that made me happy. I just wasn't. Other than spending time with my daughter, I wasn't taking any time out for me. So now, this is where that single parent journey, it gets a little tricky, because now I've got to learn how to take care of Sam, but take care of me too. You know, I think that's something as parents we forget, that we deserve some us time as well, some me time, if you will. We deserve those moments. And I'm going to end it there real quick, guys. I promise you, next episode, I will keep going a little bit further. Dan, I saw your comment. I know, man, you wish they were a little bit longer, and I promise you I will get into a little bit more in the next episode. But real quick, before I wrap this up, I just wanted to touch on something. We are just a few days away from May 17th, 4 days exactly. And on May 17th, it is National NF Awareness Day. And NF is called neurofibromatosis, like I talked about in the last video. On May 17th, we will be doing a live auction, and I've been incredibly touched at the companies and the community rallying around me and doing all they can to help. And at this point, excuse me, we are at 24 companies, 30 some odd items to auction off. I can't believe we've gotten here. I won't lie to you guys. I'm absolutely 100% nervous. I want to make sure I do a good job with this. It's so important to me because the Children's Tumor Foundation does so much, not just for the children, but just for research and the advancing in technology when it comes to treating neurofibromatosis. So it's a foundation to me that is very near and dear. So I'm going to do all I can. It'll be right here on this channel, guys. I thank you all so much for everything that everyone has done to help. Bearded Metal Chef, Mech Bearded are going to be on there helping me out, take care of things. And I will be back with the Chronicles of the Bearded Dad. As soon as we get past Sunday, I will get right back to it. I got a few other episodes I'm working on. This episode was just a quick bring you guys up to date a little bit, and then a little preview of what's coming Sunday. Guys, I hope you're all being safe out there and taking care of each other. And I will see you all Sunday, I hope. Thank you so much. Stay safe and stay bearded.